Hello and thanks for checking out the channel. You're very welcome to Lit. So what is this channel? What is Lit all about? Well, it's a channel about personal development and the complex task of accepting ourselves fully where we are and still getting better day by day to wherever it is that we want to be. It's a channel about books, especially about fiction books, and a little bit more about that later. And maybe most of all, it's a channel about the place where these two things overlap, the extraordinary power, the extraordinary transformative power of the practice of reading. This channel will attempt to bring you valuable videos about the way a commitment to personal development and a dedicated habit of reading can come together in a truly extraordinary manner to positively impact in a countless number of ways your life and the lives of the people around you, the lives of the people you care most about. So why personal development? Why books, and which books specifically? And why precisely is reading such an extraordinarily powerful practice? How is it that the act of sitting down with a book and giving to that act your closest attention, how can this practice positively impact everything in your life in ways that are almost impossible to fully understand, never mind to fully articulate? Let's take those three in order. So the first, personal development. In many ways, I think for many people, personal development has got itself a bit of a bad rep. There are a few possible reasons for that. Firstly, I think it might be because in a way, personal development is an obvious statement of ambition. And ambition is sometimes something suspicious. Ambition declares, I am not satisfied with who I am right now and I want to be different, better, stronger, more influential, happier, or wealthier in the future. It's not uncommon for ambition like that to be frowned upon. Ambition like that creates a difficulty. Saying you want to be different or better is another way of saying you don't accept who you are right now. And that can be a little bit problematic sometimes. It creates a major contradiction in your heart and in your mind. At one level, you need to not accept who you are right now in order to grow and to develop. And at another level, if you don't fully accept and fully embrace who you are right now, you'll never be able to grow and develop. I want you to know that here on this channel, wherever it leads me and leads you together, I will be trying to show up as my most contradictory self, and I encourage you to do the same. Because this channel is about you and your desire to grow, to develop, to be better, while at the same time encouraging you to hold and to cherish everything that brought you uniquely here today. The great days and the difficult days, and if we're honest, the difficult ones are often the most important when we are able to look back, fortunately, with the benefit of hindsight. The second reason I think personal development has a bit of a bad rep is because many of us, if we're really honest, often equate or associate self-development with selfishness. That when you're concentrating on improving yourself, you're somehow deserting or abandoning others. This, I think, is a fallacy. I believe that a true dedication to self-development is one of the least selfish things you can do. I believe that a sustained commitment to personal development for you positively impacts the people around you on a grand scale. This bad rep, this stigma, is maybe less true in some parts of the world, such as the United States, for example, where traditionally personal achievement, individual accomplishment, and success were a part of the culture, part of the DNA growing up. In other parts of the world, like most of Europe, I'm in Ireland, for example, we have slightly different histories, leaning a little bit more towards small s socialist rather than individual or individualist values. My view is that right now, at this point in human history, a time when there is such severe political polarization all over the world, and when humanity as a whole faces potential threats that would appear to endanger our very existence as a species, everything from technology to the prospect of nuclear war to climate change to our response to global pandemics. My view is that we need both of these things right now. We need a virtuous circle of both individual values and social values. Because when we have that, when we have those two things, The finest people will contribute handsomely to society, and the finest societies will facilitate its people to live peaceful and productive and prosperous lives. No one individual can repair a wounded society, but many individuals working together, well, I think that's the only way that society ever really changes for the better. So I make no apologies for being a massive advocate for the power of personal development to make things better for everyone, for you and for the people close to you and beyond. The second cornerstone of this channel is books. I won't promise that this channel will never deal with books that might be categorized as self-help or business or psychology, but what I will promise is that non-fiction books will not be the primary focus of the work we do here. The primary focus instead will be on fiction. Novels and short stories, some of them written by famous writers, by some of the most famous writers in history, others by writers that you might be hearing about and reading for the very first time. So why fiction? Because it's my view that good fiction is one of the very best ways of understanding humanity, gaining a deeper understanding of human nature, of how we behave, of how society works, of how culture develops. And therefore, it's one of the finest ways to understand ourselves and those around us. Reading good fiction is almost like a master's degree in emotional intelligence. I will be talking about fiction that's at least a little complex in the same way that life is at least a little complex. I'm not talking about reading for entertainment or reading for escapism, although the best fiction, the best books should at least entertain you and they should take you temporarily out of any drudgery you're feeling in the day-to-day. But most of all, I'm talking about reading as a means of education, reading as a means of learning about all the countless complexities of being human. In a way, it's reading as the opposite of escapism, reading as a way of engaging more fully with the complexities of the world, because I know for sure that it takes you directly into the minds and the hearts of people you will never ever meet, in places you'll never visit, in times in the history or the future of the world that you will never otherwise experience. And the third cornerstone of this channel is the extraordinary power of reading, the meeting of these two things, personal development and books. And I think this is the glue that will hold everything on this channel together. That's what I'm hoping for anyway. If you're watching this channel, it's almost certain that you have access to more things to see, do, watch, or experience than anyone who lived in any previous generation in history. You've probably heard of the term fatal attraction. Well, I think most of us now, we fight a daily battle, not against fatal attraction, but against fatal distraction. The practice and the habit of reading is, I believe, one of the ways that we can overcome this. Reading is an antidote to fatal distraction. It's a passport to personal development and an insight into all sides of human nature and human behavior. This isn't just my opinion. Developments in neuroscience have told us a lot about neuroplasticity, how the physical makeup of your brain can change and be changed, and what that might mean for the quality of your life. Reading at least semi-complex fiction is one of the most powerful positive modes of neuroplasticity there is. When you sit down to read, to fully engage in active and focused reading, to transport yourself through your imagination into the world and the mind of someone else, that act changes your brain in powerful and fundamental ways. It builds humility, it builds empathy, it builds understanding, and it builds wisdom. It's my view that reading fiction with this sort of intent will help you to embrace the world as it is and as it could be, rather than want to escape from it. So there you have it. Please do press that subscribe button now and join me on this journey where I will try to link these three things together: good books, the powerful act of engaged reading, and our innate human desire to extend ourselves beyond our current boundaries in whatever direction we see fit. My name is Shane. This channel is called Lit, and I thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.